The Rings of Power Episode 3 Recap. Arondir was captured by orcs, along with some humans and a few elves. They're forced by the orcs to clear out trees and to make a tunnel somewhere in the Southlands for an as-of-yet unknown purpose. Could they be looking for Sauron's missing dagger? The orcs avoid sunlight by covering themselves with tarps, skins, and animal skulls. Perhaps they just need tunnels across Middle-earth to get around during the day. They claim they're doing this for someone named Adar, which is the Elvish word for father, and the name of the episode. We get a brief, blurry glimpse of Adar at the end. Could this be Sauron? I like the theory that this is one of, if not the, first elf turned orc. It makes sense why the other orcs would call him father in Elvish. At one point, Arondir asks a tree for forgiveness in Elvish before cutting it down. Arondir's elf companions are killed by the orcs, and we get to see this creepy-looking warg before Arondir is brought before the mysterious Adar. Galadriel and Halbrand were rescued at sea by a captain called Elendil, which means one who loves the stars, or elf friend. Elendil is a father to Isildur and Eärien. Elendil brings Galadriel and Halbrand to the Land of the Star, the island kingdom of Numenor, where they meet the Queen Regent, Miriel, who may be secretly faithful to the elves in a city that currently distrusts them. We also meet Pharazôn, who seems to be a political antagonist to the Queen Regent. Miriel assigns Elendil to watch over Galadriel. There's a lot of political intrigue being set up between these characters, but I'm more interested in how Halbrand acts in this episode. My Sauron senses were tingling when he looked longingly at an anvil. Halbrand clearly has a dark side. He steals Galadriel's dagger back from Elendil, and he also causes trouble in the streets after trying to steal a crest to become a blacksmith. Galadriel and Elendil go to the Hall of Lore and discover two very important things. Sauron's symbol represents a map of a land the orcs are attempting to create where evil can thrive, and Galadriel learns that Halbrand is actually an uncrowned king of the Southlands. My favorite theory is that Halbrand is one of the 9 men that were eventually corrupted by Sauron's rings and became the Nazgûl, or Ringwraiths. I like to think that Halbrand could be the Witch King. It would be tragic if he attempts to unite the humans against Sauron and fails, as a sort of parallel to Aragorn, who will also hesitate to take up a crown, but will eventually succeed in uniting the humans against Sauron's armies. Not much happens with the Harfoots. We learn that they aren't very kind to people who lag behind during their migrations, though they do at least honor them in a ceremony. It seems that Poppy's family was killed in a landslide. The stranger recognizes some stars in one of Sadoc's star charts before he accidentally burns the parchment and reveals himself to the Harfoots. Did he seem surprised by the heat of the fire to you? Sadoc agrees to allow Nori and her family to travel with the rest during the migration, but they have to stay at the back of the caravan. This is problematic because Nori's father was injured, but thankfully the stranger helps pick up the slack and joins them in the migration. Finally, Miriel visits her father, who is currently the king of Numenor, but because of his faithfulness to the elves, is basically being held prisoner in a tower. We don't see his face, but Miriel tells him the elf has arrived. What does Galadriel's arrival to Numenor mean for the humans? Do you think this is based on some prophecy? Who is Sauron? Have we seen him yet? What about Adar? Give me your best theories in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and check out my other long-form content for quality Wheel of Time book lore, episode breakdowns, theories, and more. Special thanks to my Patreon and YouTube supporters who continue to make this possible. You can support me for as little as $1 per month here on YouTube or on Patreon. Thanks for watching and sharing.